Today we're going to try an experiment. I got to thinking, I wonder if Kool-Aid will tie-dye. So I've got two different kinds of Kool-Aid here for two different colors. A bunch of rubber bands and this white blanket. We're going to twist it up and go from there. I now have the blanket bound with rubber bands and a bunch of little random twisted knots. And now we're going to try to dye this thing with Kool-Aid. I have one cup that's got a package of orange Kool-Aid in it and some water to help it dissolved, and one that's got the black cherry and some water and dissolved. I'm going to carefully take one piece of the bound blanket and let it soak in the cup. And repeat the process with the red cherry Kool-Aid. I have done messed up and stuck my hand in some of the Kool-Aid and dyed my fingers pink. I'm going to put some gloves on so it doesn't get worse. So I have pulled the first piece out of the orange, the first piece out of the black cherry. I'm going to repeat this process until I have coated each piece. And we'll see how this turns out. I have made a second cup of each color and have now decided that this method may be a little bit more messy. As you can tell, my towel that I had sitting under it is now drenched. It was pink in the first place, so it didn't really matter. But I'm going to move this to the bathtub and try something a little bit different. I've now moved to the bathtub. I have the bathtub plugged. And I have my next set of Kool-Aids set mixed up already. Now I'm just going to pour the Kool-Aid over. And we're just going to see how this does. Now that I have dumped all the Kool-Aid over it, we have a small deposit left. And there's still some fairly white patches here and there. So we're going to sop it up to the best of our ability. Oh, just unplugged the drain. I believe I'm going to let this soak for a little bit like it is and go from there. After a little bit of thinking, I thought, why not speed up a little bit of this drying process so I can snap the rubber bands off by throwing it in the dryer for a little bit until it's, for the most part, dry. We're going to see how this goes. I've taken it out of the dryer, and for the most part it is dry now. So I'm going to start popping these rubber bands. Once I get them all snapped off, we'll see how well this turned out. I'm not sure if you're able to tell or not. It did somewhat tie-dye, but I bet it would be much more defined if I would have taken the rubber bands off and while it was still pretty wet and let it air dry on a line rather than throw it in the dryer while it's still bound. I think the mess it left in my dryer was evidence that it slung most of the color out or off of it, however you want to look at it that way. But other than that, I'm fairly happy with the way it turned out.